Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a book haul, and if you've been here a while, you might be asking, didn't you say that your last book haul was going to be like your last ever book haul? Yes, I did say that, but I kind of changed my mind, and also over half of the books that I'm going to be hauling, I'm pretty sure I have already read. I mean, I know that I've read a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure in terms of like numbers that I have read at least half of these. I basically wanted to make sure that the books on my shelves, books that I actually enjoyed, so I got rid of a lot of stuff that I don't really enjoy, and I realized like my shelves were pretty devoid of like any contemporary romances, and that's just a shame, so I decided to stock up over the past couple of months. I'm just here to share those books with you. I mean, you can cry consumerism if you would like, but I feel like I'm supporting authors, you know, supporting authors that I love and whose works I already love. So I purchased these books in stores and online over the past couple of months. It was so much fun. But what surprised me when I was hunting for books was how much personal information the rewards programs were asking for. Like, I would go on a website and they would have their own rewards program, and I'm like, how many times am I gonna have to enter all of this personal information about me? Like, yes, I want a discount on books, but why do you need to know where I live, what my birthday is? Especially since a lot of that information ends up being passed to data brokers who can like do whatever they want with your information, which is why I'm really happy to say that this video is sponsored by Incogni. Every year, the number of data breaches is rising, and the likelihood of your own data getting breached is only increasing over time, since there are thousands of data brokers out there who have your personal information. The good news is that you have the right to request that data brokers delete the information that they have about you. The bad news is that it would take years for you to do it yourself manually. Incogni helps protect your privacy and take your personal data off of the market by reaching out to data brokers on your behalf, requesting your personal data removal, and dealing with their objections. And the whole process is automated. All you have to do is create an account and tell them whose data you want to be removed, usually your own, grant them the right to work for you, and then kick back and watch as they handle it for you, while you get updates on their progress along the way. It's really nice to know that I won't keep getting random calls from scammers that seem very convincing, telling me that I like owe money to the IRS because they got my information from a data broker, and that a stranger won't be taking out loans in my name, the personal data that they took from a data leak. So if, like me, you want to be safe and secure on the internet, click the link in my description and use code Chandler. The first 100 people to click the link will get 20% off of Incogni. Thanks again to Incogni for sponsoring this portion of today's video. All right, now let's get into the book haul. I have 56 books here that I've purchased over the past few months. Some of these are actually for Hayden, so I kind of cheated a little bit, or at least I'm showing you some stuff that like I won't personally be reading myself. Yeah, I'm excited to do so. The majority of this is romance, as I'm sure you expect. Hyped to have more romance on my shelves. I'll kind of run you through like what books I have read, what books I intend to read, what I decided I needed on my shelves. If anything, this should act as like a favorites video in a way, because a lot of these books are like all-time favorites. So starting out with an all-time favorite, From Lugov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I was able to find this, I believe, at Barnes & Noble. I didn't realize it would be so small in comparison to some other indie romance paperbacks that I have, but I'm very excited to have this on my shelves. It's one of my favorite sports romances. Nice slow burn. I feel like I need to do a reread of this soon. There are a couple of Mariana Zapata books that I'm like really hyped to reread. This is one of them, and I'm excited to have it on my shelves. Next up is one that I wasn't sure that I was going to buy, but I did anyway. You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. This book I think I initially gave 3 stars to, but I feel like I need to do a reread on this because I really liked this author's second book, Twice Shy, and I've heard some really good things about another book that she recently put out, and I feel like it's in this stack somewhere. Just Like Magic, it's like her Christmassy release, but this one is like an enemies to lovers romance, and I don't know, it reads very interesting, let me tell you that, and it's definitely like a misunderstanding sort of situation going on. These two have like been together for a while, now they're kind of enemies, so I don't know, if you haven't read it, I would give it a try. It's definitely different than anything I've ever read before, and it's just pretty, so I figured it's nice to be able to pull this out when I want to give recommendations to people, because this is a book that I would recommend even if it's not like a 5-star romance for me. Next up are 3 of 4 Tessa Bailey books. Now, I'm a sucker, and I don't know why. Hear me out. These are so pretty, and that is why I bought them, and I feel weird saying that they're pretty because I feel like I often complain that I don't like these kind of, I don't know, cartoon covers. Give me a guy with abs. Like, that's what I want on my book covers, but I just feel like these are really appealing. I love the way that they all go together. I love the colors. Like, they're just so pretty. There's a green one too that's down there somewhere. I don't know exactly what series this is, but I know this is just like a recovered series from Tessa Bailey. These books are like not necessarily brand new. They were originally published in like, yeah, 2016, so they're kind of old, and I've heard mixed things about them, but I'm willing to give them a go. Let me know if you want to see like a reading vlog on this series. I think that would be fun, and if I don't do it like on my channel, I'll probably do it on Patreon, but I have not read these, and I am excited to give them a go. I have been wanting to go through Tessa Bailey's backlist, so excited to do that sometime this year. Next up, we have sort of a mixed stack in that I have read Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, but I have not read Block Shot or Hook Shot. These are the original covers for these books. I know that they have like discreet or like special edition copies, but I like a guy. Like, I like a guy on the covers of my books. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like this is appealing. Anyway, Long Shot was a 5-star read for me. I really like Kennedy Ryan, and she's another author who I'd like to read through her backlist. So I got these for Christmas from Hayden. He went through my Amazon like book wish list and got me some real gems. So very excited to finish off this series sometime this year. Next up are 2 books that I got because I know that these are going to be getting the recover treatment soon. I kind of want to have like the original covers. I'm a sucker for an original cover, even though these are so corny. So we have Bully by Penelope Douglas and Rival by Penelope Douglas. I think like the 3rd or the 4th book in the series is the one that's getting the recover first, and I don't know why. So it's off the market, and I feel like I need to hunt it down and see if I can find like the old version or the old cover. Excited to have these. I was surprised to see them at my Barnes & Noble because I feel like they're getting increasingly challenging to find, but there's just something so like classic about these covers. I think these were like published in like the early 2010s, yeah, 2013. I just feel like I want to have these covers. I just think they're funny. Okay, I like that. 2 books that actually I do like these discreet covers: Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher and The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. These are kind of confusing. I wish that they had been published by like same people. This one's like published by Bloom, and this one I think is just a self-pub copy. I found them both at Target, I believe, and I've read both of these books. I enjoyed both of them, though I really prefer the second book, Terms and Conditions. I just wanted to have these on my shelves. I'm really looking forward to the 3rd book coming out this year. I can't remember the name of it, but it is like the only book that I have on my TBR on Goodreads right now, so I'm like very much anticipating it, and I'm glad to have these on my shelves. Next up is kind of like a favorites stack, I guess you could say. These are some of my favorite books from this past year that I decided to treat myself to. Okay, this one actually isn't. This is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This is like the one Colleen Hoover book that I was really excited to own, and I was really upset that I couldn't find it anywhere except for Amazon. I guess this one is one of the more indie published books by Colleen, and yeah, because it says Montlake on the back, which is like Amazon's publishing imprint. I like this book. This is one of my favorite books of Colleen Hoover's. I think it's actually my favorite by her, but anyway, this is one of my favorite books of last year, not 2022, 2021. Enjoyed it. Okay, I wanted to own it. This is like one of the only Colleen Hoover books you'll see on my shelves. There's one other one. That's another story, and we're going to talk about that later. But 4 books that are favorites of the year. We have Lovelight Farms by BK Borison. This is one that I got on Amazon. It is an indie published book. Same with A Deal with the Devil by Elizabeth Overwork and Waking Olivia by Elizabeth Overwork. I'm so excited to have these. I need to finish off the Devil series. I've read all of the books, but I don't own them. I'm like holding off because I've obviously gone a little crazy with books and I didn't want to go too ham, but this one is like a sweet Christmas romance, and I feel like I've talked about it so much you don't want to hear me talk about it anymore. King Olivia is a really fun angsty sports romance, and A Deal with the Devil is like a kind of humorous enemies to lovers situation. Like, I'm working for this guy and he's kind of the worst. If you liked The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, I think you would really like this book. Similar vibes, but this one's a lot shorter, and the slow burn is there, but it's like a little bit less intense. And I feel like I honestly need all of Elizabeth O'Rourke's backlist on my shelves, but we'll get there one day, right? And then an unexpected favorite, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is the only Abby Jimenez book that I have on my shelves because I have not liked anything else she's written, but this book was so emotional and sweet, and it's a book that I feel like I'm going to revisit at some point, either this year or next year, if I want a good cry, because it did make me cry, and I loved seeing our heroine's like emotional journey and like her character growth. It was incredible. So love this, glad I have it. Next up is one that I found at Barnes & Noble. It is Priest by Sierra Simone. I purchased this because I am doing a video, I think actually this month, in a couple of weeks. Like I think it's the last video that I'm posting this month. I'm gonna be reading like hot priest romances, and when I saw this one there, I was like, okay, might as well just get the paperback, and if I don't like it, obviously I can sell it back to like Half Price Books, but I hope that I like it. I'm very excited for like my hot priest adventure. I'm reading 3 hot priest books, so stay tuned for that. I'll let you know what the best of the best is. Okay, another situation where I was like very torn if I wanted the discreet cover or if I wanted the like hot dude cover, and frankly, I might buy the hot dude cover for this at some point too, but I got the discreet cover of Blindside by Candy Steiner. This is one that I got for Christmas from Hayden. I really like the sports romance. It is a football romance, which I think is like my favorite of all of the sports romances. I don't know. I would say like football and hockey are tied, but in terms of like my favorite sports, football. So anyway, I really enjoyed this book. I think the series is a really fun one if you are looking to like get into sports romances, and I think Blindside is one that a lot of people really enjoyed this year. You have kind of like an inexperienced heroine and a hero who's just obsessed with her, so really enjoyed this one, and I'm glad I have it, especially this like beautiful cover. Then I have all of the like new covers. I'm really sad that I couldn't get the originals. Like, I wasn't quick enough whenever these covers switched over, but I have The Mistake, The Deal, and The Score by Miss L. Kennedy. These are all, I guess, republished by Bloom Books, and this is kind of what they look like so you can actually see the covers. Again, I honestly would prefer a guy with abs than these. Like, these aren't terrible, but if I can find ab guys, I might replace these at some point. But I'm glad to have these on my shelves. I reread, I think, The Deal semi-recently, like a year or two ago, because I think I initially read these back in like 2016 or 2017, but I feel like I want to reread these, and that's kind of why I purchased them. Like, I know for sure that these hold up, but I feel like I just want to get back into the off-campus series. I've been like really craving some hockey romances, so I'm excited to have these. And I think Hayden bought me like 1 or 2 of them, and then I bought the other 2 at Barnes & Noble. Next up, a pair of traditionally published romances. I think they sent me the UK version of this, and I'm a little sad about it because I don't love this version of the cover, but Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle. The original book is like yellow, and I don't know if like this cover is only for the UK edition or if they like recently switched the cover for all of the editions, but this is from FAQS, which I think like the UK version anyway. Regardless, I have it. It's cute. I do like the orange. I think I prefer the original cover better, and it would match my You Deserve Each Other better, because like look at how different these are in size. I just feel like it looks a little weird, but anyway, this is one of my favorite romances. It's a 5-star romance for me. We have a girl who's like kind of a daydreamer, and she has to basically fight for ownership of her great aunt's house because the house has been bequeathed to both her and the guy that has been like taking care of her estate and her home for like a while. So it's a really dreamy romance, and it has really good anxiety representation. Like the guy, I think in this, has really horrible social anxiety and just anxiety in general. I think he might have a panic attack on page, so I don't want to say I liked the panic attacks, but I do like the representation, and I did really like this book. Then another book that I think almost everybody likes, Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is the far superior cousin, I guess you could say, to Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. It's a delight. I do kind of wish that I had the original cover, but this one is really cute. I do like the hand-drawn kind of details on here. They do like harken back to what the story is all about, which is, you know, like a shared mutual love of reading and like a mutual pining, friends to lover situation, all the things I like, so glad to have this. Next up, a stack of books that Hayden got me for Christmas. We have Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. I don't know if these are available in like the hot guy covers. I feel like those might just be for the ebook versions, but these are really, really pretty. These are discreet covers that I actually enjoy, and I liked almost all of these books. I didn't love Twisted Hate, but I didn't really want an incomplete series, and I feel like it's a book that I might go ahead and like reread in the future and see if like my thoughts and feelings have changed. I feel like I might have been a little harsh on this one, but in general, I'm just glad to have all of these books, and I am excited to have more from her on my shelves in the future. I think I might get King of Wrath for my shelves as well, but these are so pretty. Glad to have them. If you have not read the series, it is kind of silly in a way, but also really fun at the same time. Definitely interesting, like semi-dark plot twists and situations, but the romances are like really fun. You always have like a kind of jealous, possessive hero and a heroine who's like really strong and sassy, and I really like that. Next up are a few secondhand finds. This is another FAQS. Is that how you say it? I don't actually know. I got Get a Life Chloe Brown. I was on the fence about getting this because I could tell that this was a UK version and it wouldn't necessarily match the other books that I have in the series. I think I already have Eve Brown and Dani Brown. Yeah, I can see Dani Brown down there on my shelves. And I didn't have Chloe Brown, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. It won't match my other covers, but as you can see, my books are in rainbow order, so it kind of doesn't totally matter if they all match. And I don't know, I just kind of like an eclectic shelf anyway. I think it's okay. So happy to have this one and happy to have gotten it for $7.99. Next, we have The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I thought that I had this book, but I recently, like, when I put my shelves back together, realized I'm like 90% sure that I don't have a copy of this. It is one of my favorite romances. I think I gave this 4 or 5 stars when I read it originally, and it's a book that I want to revisit soon because I just feel like it gives all the good summer vibes. It's one of the best representations, I think, of like an enemies to lovers situation. I liked this book a lot, so I'm glad to have it. And then a book that I feel like is a little bit underrated, it's one that I liked and it seemed like no one else did, is Much Ado About You by Samantha Young. The sex scene in this book is like surprisingly hot. It's about a girl who goes to, I believe, either like Scotland or England, and she's staying there and working at a bookshop for a year because she needs to get away from her life, and she meets a really hot guy there. She helps the townspeople. It's very like quaint and charming, but surprisingly hot, and I liked it. I thought it was like kind of a delight. It was a book that I read for a list video, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. It wasn't a book that I like went into, you know, wanting to read, but I liked it. So if you're looking for something chill and quaint, I would recommend this. Oh, and then I have Reputation by Lex Croucher. That's the last book of the stack that I put right here. This book I really liked. It is kind of like a Mean Girls meets Pride and Prejudice historical romance, but like not super, super heavy on the romance. It was like more about like the relationships between women, and I just liked it a lot. I'm very excited for Lex's second book. I think it's called like Infamous or something like that, and I am gonna put that on pre-order because I loved this. So when Barnes & Noble was having their like 50% off hardcover sale, Hayden was saying that if I saw any fantasy series that he would like or that he's read before on audio and they had a like physical copy of it, could I buy them for him? He said like any Brandon Sanderson, like any of the Eye of the World novels, things like that. And I couldn't find those, but I did find these absolutely beautiful versions of the Witcher series. And I just love the way that these spines look. I'm kind of like 50-50 on whether or not I remove dust jackets for my books. Some of them have them, some of them don't. But these I'll probably keep the dust jackets on because I just love the way that they look all together. So pretty. I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in this series. I know that there are like short story collections in the greater series, and I don't know if like any of these are those, but regardless, I can like add on as time goes on, but they're just super pretty. I won't be reading these, to be honest, or I have no like plans to read them, but they are books that I purchased recently, even if they were for Hayden, so I thought I'd show them to you. They're really cute. All right, next up is a stack of books that I am excited to read and that I will be reading hopefully here sometime soon. First up, we have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I got the Double exclusive edition, which is gold and absolutely stunning. I do have the silver version as well that I got at Target, and I feel like I need to like sell that or give it away or something because I don't need 2 copies of this book on my shelves, but the end pages are freaking stunning on this edition, and I love that it's gold. I think it's really pretty. I won't be taking the dust jacket off of this one because I don't think I have enough gold books on my shelves, but very excited to pick this up. I loved the Atlas 6 and it's somewhere behind me. Also, I have a pepper behind me, if you're curious. Another book that I'm really excited to read and I will be reading over the next like couple of weeks or so. I'm doing a read-along, read-a-thon situation with a couple of other people here on YouTube, but Stolen Air by Holly Black is a book I'm really excited for. I just got the standard like Target edition. I have a mix of the Target and Barnes & Noble special editions, so like some of them are black, some of them are white, I don't care, but like that is so cute. And I will be taking the dust jacket off of this one because I've taken the dust jacket off of all of my other Holly Black books. So anyway, excited about this. Also excited about Hellvent by Miss Leigh Bardugo. I don't know if all of the versions have the beautiful end paper, but I really like that. I know that the Target exclusive edition has like this cute little poster, which is fun. Miss Alex Stern. Anyway, I liked Ninth House. It was a 5-star read for me. I think I'm gonna really enjoy Hellbent. I will most likely not be reading them on my channel just because a lot of people don't tend to like when I do fantasy videos, just fine. So I'll probably keep that to my Patreon, but I'm very excited to give this a go. I don't know when I'll be able to squeeze it in. Like I don't have any sort of like imminent plans to read this book, but it will definitely be happening this year because I know that I'll be wanting to read some fantasy, and this is definitely more my speed than like some higher fantasy series. This is like a nice kind of urban fantasy in a way because it's set at Yale. And then 2 YA books. I know, shocking. YA fantasy though. Bloodmarks by Tracy Dion. This is the second book in the like Legendborn series, and I am so excited to read this one. Also, I don't know like what makes this a special edition, but she's pretty. Excited to have her. I do have Legendborn on my shelves. It was one of those books that I had like read via audiobook and I liked it so much I needed a physical copy, and so I figured I would like carry on the tradition and pick up Bloodmarked. I've heard such good things about this one, so I'm really hyped to get to it. And I was looking on Barnes & Noble's website before I picked up this book, or like before I went to Barnes & Noble, because I was trying to figure out like, okay, what's my game plan when I go and get some half-price hardbacks? And I couldn't find a lot that I was really excited about, but I found this beautiful special edition of Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I have a like Cassandra Clare collection right here, and I do have some special editions of Clockwork Angel, I believe, and City of Bones. So I figured, why not get the special edition of Chain of Gold? I feel like eventually they will do a special edition that like matches that one, but this is super pretty. I like that the edges are, you know, gold sprayed, and I think there's like some maybe illustrations and stuff in here too that like makes this a little different. Okay, maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but regardless, she's pretty and I'm excited to have her. All right, we are getting to the bottom of some of these stacks. First up, we have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this up. I like put it back on the shelf and then grabbed it again, but it is the Book of the Month version, and I don't think I've ever seen this in hardcover besides the Book of the Month version, and it was only $13, so I figured I would go ahead and pick this one up. I've been keeping the dust jackets on my Book of the Month covers, and I think I might like have a special dedicated shelf to them at some point, but I've heard such good things about this book. I still haven't read it, even though it's like super popular and there's a show now, but excited to get to this one. Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. Barnes & Noble was really like throwing this one at me, and I said, okay, sure, whatever. Blue sprayed edges. It's really pretty. I'm going to be reading this for the video where I read my subscribers' best books of 2022. I heard a romance, but like also a little bit literary, so excited about it. Speaking of romance that's a little literary, Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I wanted to pick this up like a year ago, but you couldn't get it because it had been like pulled from publishing and then republished by an actual publisher, Tor. So excited to get to this. I've heard that there's good bipolar representation, which I'm hyped about. Too Hard to Forget by Tessa Bailey. Again, it was another book in that series that got recovered, and I got this one first. It was like a second chance romance, and you know, I'm here for a second chance romance. Haven't read it yet, but excited to. And then the last like series that I'm going to be showing you is the On the Rope series by Ali Martinez. These were some of my first sports romances. These are about, I believe, boxers, and they're like three brothers, all have very different life circumstances. Ali Martinez writes really emotional romances, and I remember, I think it's the second book in the series, just blowing me away. Yeah, Fighting Shadows. I need to reread these and see if they like hold up. I might do a video rereading them, but I'm really excited to have these. Hayden got these for me for Christmas, and I actually think these are new covers for these books too. When I read them, they didn't look like this, but happy to have them. And then the last 5 books that I'm going to show you are actually books that I'm reading for a video in February. I think it's like the first or the second video you're going to see in February, where I reread some of my old favorites. Like when I first started reading romance, these were it for me. So it's these ones right here. I'll kind of go through them. Paper Princess by Erin Watt. I fell in love with this. I'd never read new adult before. And though I know that this is so cringy, I'm excited to go back and revisit it. Pretty sure it's about a girl who's like stripping to make ends meet, and then she gets saved by some guy, her like new stepdad or something like that, and then he has a bunch of sons and she like falls for one of them. Messy, but it's fun. It's funny, the back of this says a compulsively readable YA novel. This is not YA, this is certainly new adult, but excited to read or reread that. Slammed by Colleen Hoover. This one, it was like a questionable fave. I think I re-rated this on Goodreads and gave it like 2 stars, but I think when I originally read this, I loved it. Age gap romance, it's a student teacher, I believe, so we'll see how that goes. Full Tilt is a deeply emotional story that has so much detail in like such a small package. It's about a rock star who doesn't really like her life, who falls for her driver. It's more complicated than that, but I don't want to spoil it. Culty by Mariana Zapata is, I believe, my favorite book by her. It is a soccer player coach romance, and I just really like Culty. He is very gruff and grumpy, but I love the romance that develops between him and Sal. I was gonna say, I don't know what the heroine's name is, but Sal. And then lastly, we have Managed by Kristen Callahan. This is, I think, kind of like an enemies to lovers situation. I just really remember enjoying the dynamic, the banter between the hero and heroine. It's about a girl who I believe is like a photographer for a really famous band, or becomes a photographer for a famous band. I could be wrong here, but she ends up working with them and kind of getting in a relationship with the band's manager, who is very like grumpy, and I think he's British as well. So I'm excited to revisit all of these, honestly. Like, I look at these and these just remind me of like a very certain time in my life, and yeah, I'm curious to see how much my taste has changed, but that is it. Those are all of the 56 books that I purchased over the past couple of months, or received as gifts over the past couple of months. I am excited to put these back on my shelves and like find new homes for them on my shelves, and excited to create videos with some of these books in the coming months. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, don't forget to check out Incogni. Click the link in my description, use code Chandler, and the first 100 people will get 20% off. Love y'all so much, and until next time.